Good afternoon, class. I am Lisa Villa, and I will be your instructor for Counseling 160 this upcoming spring semester, which officially starts next Wednesday, February 22nd. So I'm here a few days early. I want to jump in just to make sure everyone knows how to access Canvas. That's our course management system, and that's where we conduct all the online or remote portions of class. And this class is 100% online and it's asynchronous. That means we don't have any live lectures. I will post plenty of lectures for you to review, but and you'll have week-to-week deadlines, but there isn't live synchronous meeting times. So let me share my screen, and I just want to make sure if you haven't used Canvas before that you know exactly how to do so. From anywhere on our website, citruscollege.edu, all you need to do is go up to the upper right-hand corner where you see this magnifying glass, and right next to that, you'll see 3 dots that look like ellipses. If you click on that, you'll see a drop-down menu with 3 choices, and you just want to pick Canvas. That's the name of our online course management system. So then it'll prompt you to sign in, and you're going to use the same sign-in information you use for everything else. We're a single sign-on institution. Once you sign in there, it'll take you to something called the dashboard, which shows everything that you're enrolled in or a part of. Even instructors that are teaching classes that are completely face-to-face, traditional in-person classes, will get a Canvas shell, and it's extremely useful because if you think about it, in a traditional class, you might see an instructor 2 times a week. There's a lot of things that can be forgotten, and so all of the files, assignments, reminders, a lot of instructors use the Canvas shell for that reason, even if they're teaching in person. So from there, obviously, you want to go into our class, Counseling 160. And what you'll see right off the bat is the first module. I call it the course materials module. A module, by the way, is just a word to describe a way of organizing and chunking information or content together. And so you'll see underneath that, it goes right into the week 1 module. That's how I'll refer to it. A week, by the way, for us always runs Monday through Sunday. But since next week is a shorter week because we actually start Wednesday instead of Monday, it doesn't look like, obviously it's not 7 days, that period of time. It's just going February 22nd, that's the Wednesday, through the 26th, which is Sunday. So everything, all your discussion, this is a heavy discussion based class because we are completely online, and that interaction is going to be really important. By the way, there's a rubric for that, general discussion rubric, and I'll also give you a lot of good examples the first couple of weeks of the semester from your fellow classmates, just in case the discussion rubric and the rules I have in the syllabus don't quite make sense, or maybe you need specific examples. I'll make sure you have them. So the discussion always ends on Sunday. And there's a couple of rules in there to ensure that the discussion's kind of spread out over the week. So you're not doing everything at 11:30 p.m. every Sunday, because then that defeats the purpose of having that interaction with one another. So make sure when you do log in that you have gone through all of the content in the course materials module. Netiquette, that's just some things to keep in mind week to week for discussions. Failure to do that after the first couple of weeks, I tend to be a little bit more flexible in the beginning while people are getting used to all the rules of engagement. But if this is continuously ignored, then it will result in points deducted. Obviously, the syllabus is extremely important. You may even want to print that out, just so you're not always having to read online, which I know can be tiring for your eyes. General discussion rubric. There's something called the perfect scores incentive in this class. And it's something that's worked out quite well in the past, and students have been thankful to have it. And basically, if you have perfect scores in your discussion all throughout the semester up to week 14, and then I let you skirt a little bit the last couple of weeks. But most students don't. If they made it to that point, they just continue having perfect scores to the end. Then there's a really big incentive you can read about in there. Your textbook is completely online. It's called an OER, Open Educational Resource, and it's totally free. So there's no excuse for not being on top of your reading. Everyone has access to it right away. If you're a little old school and you need the physical copy, you can get that from the L Bookshop as well. Obviously, that does cost though, because the graphics department has to print up the book. But if you're planning on referencing everything online, then everything is totally free. For those of you who want to get a jump before Wednesday into the first discussion, please absolutely feel free to do that. Just kind of look at every module the same from week 1 on, and that is from the top down, review all the content that I have in each of the links. I'll have a mini lecture or more, at least one, if not more, and some other articles or reading for you to go through before you go into the discussion. And for the discussion, you will see it's very specific what I'm asking you to respond to. So there are 9 prompts, but they're all pretty simple for week 1. And you always have to respond to other students too. That is required, not optional. So definitely points will go missing if you haven't done that. And the only thing that looks different about week 1, the week 1 module, is that you have a syllabus quiz at the end of it. Now that syllabus quiz is obviously based on your syllabus. It can be taken as many times as you want. Sky's the limit. But the caveat is you have to get a perfect score in that before you can move on to week 2. So if you haven't done that by February 26th, then I'm going to give you one opportunity the day after. I'm going to send you an email to ask you if there was any extenuating circumstances that prevented you from taking that quiz, preferably something documentable, and we can go from there. But otherwise, that's something else you can take care of as soon as you feel comfortable jumping in and doing. It's pretty simple. And again, all you need to do is just refer back to the syllabus for all the questions. So I don't want to overly burden you with a ton of information with this welcome announcement. But I did want to jump in here and just make sure, if you've never accessed Canvas at least, that you know how to do so now. And then the other thing I wanted to say is this is going to go out in an announcement. There's no announcements just yet. But on the announcements page, there is a way for you to respond to that. So the announcement it's kind of like an email. There'll be a title, subject line, and then my announcement will show up here. And then there will be, on the bottom left, you will see there's a button for you to respond or reply in the message. If you ever have a question about anything that we're talking about in class, or just a general question about the class itself, please ask in the announcements area, because what that does is, the cliche, if you have a question about something, it's very likely that someone else has the same question. It limits the amount of time I have to answer the same question over and over, and it kind of helps to create that learning community feeling that we want in this 100% online class. If you ask the question there and I don't see the question right away, but let's say another classmate does, and they think they know the answer to it, they should feel free to jump in there and answer the question. So, we're here to rely on each other and learn from each other. And obviously, I will get in there as soon as I can and confirm the response. But please ask them if you can in the announcements area. If you send me an individual email, you're feeling a little shy, I'm still going to post. I could post it anonymously, if I think it's a question that someone else is going to have in the class, which is 99% of the time, I will still post it in the announcements, and that's how I'll answer the question. By the way, if it's not class related, it's more personal, and you do need to get a hold of me just individually, please use email. I think that's the quickest way to get a hold of me. And I will respond to you if it's during a regular work week, Monday through Friday, absolutely within 24 hours. So that's it for now. Again, if you have questions, ask them in the announcements, the corresponding announcement. And I hope you all have a wonderful weekend, and I look forward to getting to know all of you a lot better. Take care, and we'll chat soon.